A Health Tip Guide. Chapter 1. Health Tip Ideas. Health Tips One-Liners 1. A joyful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bones. Proverbs 17:22. Accept yourself. Enjoy your life. All the noise you hear through the media, traffic, machines, etc. has some stress effects on you. All processed foods have been bleached of nutrients. You need to eat fresh foods, preferably organic, to get the most nutrients. Try juicing your own juice. Animal proteins are a strain on the digestive system. Any food or drink marketed at kids is probably unhealthy. Anything that goes on your skin goes into your body to the bloodstream. Avoid the chemicals in all the shampoos, creams, sunscreens and hair coloring products on the market. Air fresheners contain chemicals that are bad for you. Apples help prevent cancer. Aspirin and omega-3s decrease inflammation in your arteries, which decreases the risk of stroke and heart disease. Avoid trans fat foods. Avoid conventional medications unless absolutely necessary. Avoid foods high in fats, sodium, and cholesterol. Avoid distractions while eating, such as television or reading. Focus on thoroughly chewing and relaxing. Avoid eating in the car, both for your safety and because it's usually junk food. Avoid overcooking. Vitamins, enzymes, proteins, and fatty acids can be destroyed or chemically changed by overheating. Badly fitting shoes can lead to problems like bunions and hammer toes. Be wary of all the chemicals you put into your body through food. Be careful about the skin creams, ointments, hair color and other stuff you put on your skin. It all goes into your body through your pores. Be aware of what you eat so that you don't overeat. Be wary of microwaves and electromagnetic fields in your environment, both through the utility wires and machines such as cell phones, TVs and microwave ovens. Be thankful for what you got. Be kind and friendly. Be light-hearted and happy. Because of all the chemical estrogens out there that women use, they have made their way into the water supply. This messes with a man's and woman's hormones. You might consider hormone supplementation. Big screen HD TVs have been criticized as giving off toxic electromagnetic waves. Calorie restriction is a key to life extension. Chemicals in the foods you eat, the clothes you wear, the chair you sit on, etc., all have a negative effect on you. Consider a water filter and air purifier for your home. Consider using vitamin and mineral supplements. Dehydroepiandrosterone, DHEA, and pregnenolone decline with aging. Take supplements containing these hormones. Diet milkshakes or other drinks at the supermarket are full of chemicals. Don't smoke cigarettes or do recreational substances. Don't use vegetable shortening or margarine. Use butter instead. Don't eat anything with partial or full hydrogenated oil listed as an ingredient. Don't get frustrated about what you cannot control. Don't be materialistic or competitive with others. Compete with yourself. Don't allow adversity to dampen your joy. Don't eat fried foods. Don't eat anything with more than 5 ingredients, or ingredients you can't pronounce. Don't buy a house near a cell phone tower or near a big network of electric lines. Drink 64 ounces of water every day, not including pop or coffee. Drink liquids between meals. Drink green tea. Drugs are pretty much symptom suppressors. They don't heal the whole you. Dry cleaning is all chemicals. Don't get it done. Each individual must take ultimate responsibility for his or her health. Medical professionals are hired experts who should be fired if they do their job poorly. You're the boss of your life. Don't allow yourself to get brainwashed by all the sales hype out there, including the sale of prescription drugs. Eat healthy foods. Eat right, get proper sleep and relax. Eat low glycemic foods, glycemicindex.com. Eat foods high in mineral content, calcium, potassium, or take a mineral supplement. Eat spinach to keep eyes healthy. People who consume high levels of antioxidants have a reduced risk of macular degeneration. Spinach is rich in iron and antioxidants including lutein, which helps maintain healthy eyes. To lower blood pressure, cut back on the salt. Eat mostly plants for food. Eat foods high in antioxidants like vegetables, fruits, and wine. Eat slowly and eat only until satisfied. Eat small portions more often and large portions less often. Your body can digest small amounts eaten frequently more efficiently. Eat fresh, healthy foods. Eat a little bit of yogurt to release good bacteria into your stomach. Energy drinks are full of caffeine and too much sugar, not vitamins. Some have enough caffeine to be dangerous to the heart. Enjoy your life. Pleasure will relax you. Enjoy meals while you eat. Essential fatty acids are good fats that help regulate metabolism. Every time you flush a toilet, you send an unseen mist of germs into the air and surrounding area. Flush with the lid down. Every week, more than 8,000 reports on medical research are published in the scientific literature. No medical professional who treats patients has the time to keep up with new knowledge. That's why your most important asset is your ability to educate yourself about health and well-being. Exercise helps prevent the onset of degenerative brain diseases. Express your emotions. Fluorescent lights cause headaches. For your main foods, eat as many fruits and vegetables as possible. Fruit juice is made from the worst fruits that can't be sold as retail fruit. Pasteurize it, heat it for 30 minutes, which kills all the nutrients in it. It's not as nutritious as claimed. Fruits, veggies, grains, protein, and dairy are great foods. Garlic, olive leaf extract and oil of oregano kill toxins. Get outdoors to get some sun. Get 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night. Get at least 7 hours of sleep per night. Get restful sleep. Get some physical activity, but don't overdo it. Go out hiking in nature. Growth hormone can be replaced by direct injection from an anti-aging doctor or buying it in Mexico and injecting it yourself, but you can use growth hormone releasing agents to stimulate the natural release of growth hormone. Buy good ones. Be wary of fraud. Hairspray, deodorants, shaving cream, and antiperspiration all contain chemicals that are bad for you. Have a positive outlook. Act on it. High fructose corn syrup is as bad as straight sugar. High fructose corn syrup is in thousands of food items, but it's a useless sweetener. High blood sugar can damage your arteries even if you don't have diabetes. High blood sugar can lower your eye vision. Homogenized and pasteurized dairy produced aren't very nutritious. If you feel tired, take a nap. If you're over 50, find a regular doctor and get a checkup. Ask for a comprehensive medical test like a body scan if you can afford it. In the modern world, we got chemicals and toxins everywhere. If you read Hulda Clark's book A Cure for All Cancers, you'd see how zealous she is about telling you to get all the metal taken out of your mouth, getting rid of your carpets, fiberglass insulation, and even putting your Freon fridge in the garage because the Freon leaks out. In the case of anti-aging medicine, you can look up clinical trials and offer to be a subject for anti-aging drugs. Iridation is considered by some to be bad for food. It is unhealthy to consume excessive sugar. L-carnosine, DMAE, and acetyl-L-carnitine help you look young. Laughter is good medicine. Learn about heart disease and cancer, then do what they say to prevent it. Let go of resentment over injustices committed against you. Listen to good music. Live a simple lifestyle. Live a healthy lifestyle. Don't drink alcohol or do too many drugs, get enough sleep, eat healthy foods, get some exercise, get some fresh air outdoors. Look for organic cleaning products or check out some of the stuff I've written about cleaning that talks about using vinegar, baking soda, etc. Maintain the levels of hormones and other natural chemicals in the body at the level of a healthy 30-year-old the best that you can. It costs money to buy all those supplements, so just buy what you can afford. Malnutrition results from eating processed foods and not enough healthy foods. Many of the fruits, vegetables, meat, milk, and other natural foods are treated with pesticides and treatments like pasteurization that robs many of their nutrients. Many drugs and antibiotics are hard on the body. They weaken the immune system. Massage yourself. Get massages. Melatonin declines with aging, but can be replaced orally. Microwave ovens release dangerous electromagnetic waves. Minimize meat and chicken. Fish is fine, but some is contaminated by chemicals in the water. Vegetables are best. Minimize stress. Relax. Meditate. Most colleges and universities carry at least a few of the major medical journals. Most cities have at least one hospital with a medical library that is available to the public. Many medical journal articles are available on the internet. Most medical schools and large hospitals have free lectures and classes on various aspects of medicine. Most milk and dairy products have been pasteurized and homogenized, which is bad for you. Most low-cal and weight loss foods contain lot of chemicals you shouldn't eat. Nutrients such as lutein, vitamin C, vitamin E, and zinc reduce the risk of certain eye diseases, including macular degeneration and cataract formation. Lutein and zeaxanthin are carotenoids that filter harmful high-energy blue wavelengths of light and act as antioxidants in the eye. Olive oil reduces the risk of heart disease. One of the most germ-infested things in a house or hospital room is the TV remote control. Clean it regularly. Organize your medical records so they're handy if you need them. Keep them in a computer file. People who sleep more lose more weight because they digest their food better. People who sleep fewer than 6 hours a night have an increased risk of viral infections. Plants and flowers in the home release oxygen into the air, which is good. Potassium lowers high blood pressure. It is in almost every fruit and vegetable, but especially high in potatoes, peaches, and bananas. Because it is absorbed quickly, you have to constantly renew supplies by eating fruits and vegetables. Power bars and nutrition bars are full of sugar or high fructose corn syrup and chemicals. Raw foods, except meats, are the best foods to eat. Relax, relax, relax. Relaxation is necessary, to feel relaxed all the time. Reversing unhealthy eating habits is about listening to your body. Tune into those internal signals. Saturated fats and trans fats are bad for health. Savor and enjoy good food you're eating. Eating too fast undermines healthy digestion. Science has confirmed that certain nutrients in our food can slow down and even reverse aging. Sea salt is better than processed table salt. Shellfish such as oysters, lobsters, crabs, and clams help white blood cells produce cytokines, which are proteins that help clear flu viruses out of the body. Shellfish are called the scavengers of the sea. They sit on the ocean floor and eat all the dead crap that falls on it. A kosher Jewish law is to eat only seafood with scales and fins because they don't take in toxins as much as shellfish do. Shut the air conditioner off at night and open the windows to get some fresh air in the house. Some people say that putting a chemical sunblock on your skin causes more damage than the sun. Spend time in the sun. Stay away from processed foods as much as possible. Stay calm, minimize stress. Stop eating before you're full. Stop eating homogenized and pasteurized products. Stress causes the release of adrenaline, which destroys brain cells. Stress weakens the immune system. Sugar cane is healthy. White table sugar is not. Take a vitamin pill and some mineral supplements. Make love regularly or have sex one way or another. Take deep breaths. Take a few supplements, multivitamin, calcium, folic acid. The reason to eat is to provide fuel for your body, not for fun. The best sources of omega-3 fatty acids are fish oil, krill oil, and flax oil. The best oils are canola and olive. The can of air freshener in your bathroom sprays out harmful chemicals. Use lemon juice spray sold in some health food stores. The more water you drink, the more you flush out toxins in your body. The negative images on TV make you feel bad. The reason a lot of people don't eat pork is that pigs eat anything, even their own poop. It ends up as pork meat. The mouth has lots of bacteria and germs to begin digestion and kill germs in the foods we eat. There's a lot of bad press about diet pop, but I still drink loads of it. Toxins and harmful substances accumulate in weak parts of the body which host this stuff, then you get tumors or some other disease. Try to avoid absorbing chemicals. On top of that, do physical activity that makes you breathe in oxygen and sweat, which gets rid of these toxins. Try to have enough money such that you don't have to worry about it. Try honey and bee pollen. Try to avoid as many chemicals and toxins as possible in your environment: lead, mercury, benzene, radon, xylene, pesticides, DDT, PCBs, etc. Try a juicer and create vegetable and fruit juices. Try to be an ideal weight, not too fat or too skinny. Try to be relaxed all the time. Try to cut down on foods with flour in them. Try to eat in peace, no TV, no reading email, etc. Try to eat organic foods because regular fruits, vegetables, farmed fish, meat, and milk have been pumped up with chemicals and possibly genetically modified. Use a natural toothpaste without fluoride in it. Use probiotics. Use ginger and turmeric, curry, on food. Vitamin E supplementation promotes health. Vitamin B6 is a brain vitamin. If you have a B6 deficiency, your brain may not be able to make enough dopamine. Vitamin B6 is found in potatoes, bananas, red meat, poultry, and chickpeas. Vitamin C foods are citrus fruits and juices. Vitamin E foods are peanuts, fortified cereals, sweet potatoes, wheat germ, almonds, sunflower seeds, hazelnuts, and peanut butter. Water-soluble fiber in the form of freshly ground golden flax seed or psyllium seed husks is really good for you. When your immune system is strong and you're healthy, it produces antibodies and specialized cells which destroy the organisms or neutralize their toxic products. You keep your immune system strong through healthy living. When non-stick cookware is heated to a high temperature, it emits toxic fumes. When you sweat, you're getting rid of toxins in your body. Exercise feeds your body with oxygen. White flour has very little nutritional value. Use whole grain flour. Yogurt equals probiotics, the live-active cultures found in yogurt. They are healthy bacteria that keep the gut and intestinal tract free of disease-causing germs. You can get blood chemistry tests by your doctor or through mail order. Blood tests monitor your general state of health. If you're low in something, you can take supplements for it. You need enough rest and sleep to recharge your body. You can buy oxygen water coolers that add oxygen to the water that comes out of your tap. You can get a DNA test to determine if there are defective genes that predispose you to certain diseases. Your thoughts can help cure you or make you sick. Your body is as strong as its weakest link. Your body is designed to be healthy. It has mechanisms to repair itself and optimize performance, but even still, it just takes one small thing to kill you, like a blood clot or a tumor in a bad place. Your skin is part of your immune system. It fights against bacteria, viruses, and germs. Your skin needs vitamin A, which you get from foods containing beta-carotene like carrots and sweet potatoes. The number one cause of great health is to live an active life physically, mentally, and spiritually. Health tips one-liners 2. A flu shot is so much less expensive than being down for 2 weeks with influenza. Adjust pH levels by drinking baking soda and water. Adopt healthy eating and sleeping habits. Aggression will get you into trouble at some point in time. All additives to foods, such as all preservatives, coloring agents, emulsifiers, texturizers, flavorings, or any chemicals added, will have adverse effects on your health. An adult who gets pertussis or chickenpox can infect children, so adults need boosters too. Avoid junk foods. Avoid all margarines, processed cooking oils, unless cold-pressed, expeller-pressed, or non-hydrogenated, and avoid all processed foods that have hydrogenated oils listed on the container label. Avoid all deep-fried foods which are all hydrogenated, no matter what oils are used to deep fry in. Avoid exposure to pollution and chemicals. Avoid risky situations that could cause accidents, like drive a car as least as possible, don't swim alone, etc. Avoid junk food snacks. Chicken soup blocks inflammatory white cells. The amino acid cysteine, released from chicken during cooking, chemically resembles the bronchitis drug acetylcysteine. Cold water fish such as salmon, mackerel, cod, orange roughy, trout, tuna, and sardines are all rich in proteins, vitamins, minerals and good fatty acids. Consume a wide variety of different foods to provide your body with more adequate types and amounts of vitamins, minerals, and other food supplements. Create a healthy environment. Dairy products build strong bones. Vitamin D allows your body to absorb the calcium, which helps build stronger bones and reduce your risk of osteoporosis. Dioxins are in fat of animals that are factory farmed. Do regular physical exercise. Don't smoke. Don't smoke tobacco, drink alcohol, or use any other recreational drugs. Marijuana and cocaine use have been shown to increase one's risk of developing lung cancer. Don't be overweight. Drink vegetable juices every day. Drugs are not essential to health unless there is a defined medical problem. Eat fresh vegetables and fruits. Eat lots of plant foods, mainly organic vegetables, legumes, whole grains, and fruits. Eat organic whenever possible. Eat flax seed. Eat only when hungry. Eat portion sizes you feel you can safely digest. Overeating taxes your digestion, which results in undigested food. Eat mostly healthy foods. Eat simple grains with lots of vegetables. Eating raw or wok-cooked vegetables and salads will help protect against serious diseases. Eating the same foods over and over makes it very difficult to obtain adequate amounts of all the essential nutrients required for proper nutrition. Eat a wide variety of foods. Ensure that your diet includes nutrients, vitamins, minerals, etc. Ensure your body and immunity run smoothly by eating plenty of colorful servings of fruits and veggies. Everyone knows junk food is bad, yet people eat it en masse. The issue then becomes, what can anyone do to make people motivated to eat healthy foods? Excessive consumption of alcohol and use of tobacco can lead to many serious diseases. Exercise regularly. Folates boost your memory and lower homocysteine levels. Find them in spinach, lentils, meat, fish, eggs and dairy. Follow your true nature. Garlic is a potent onion which contains the active ingredient allicin, which fights infection and bacteria. Get fresh air as much as possible. Get rest. Get enough sleep. Have a happy, optimistic spirit. Heavy salt intake is associated with cancer of the stomach. Ideally, our system needs 30 to 40 grams of fiber daily from beans, salads, fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, 100% whole grain cereals and breads such as wheat, oats, barley, rye, millet, corn, and brown rice. One of the best forms of good fiber is ground psyllium seed husks. Keep personal hygiene. Know how to stay relaxed and avoid stress. Live a mentally active, inspired life. Lutein, a natural plant pigment known as a carotenoid, protects and strengthens your eyes. Make sure you are getting enough essential fatty acids, especially omega-3. Minimize drinking alcohol. Minimize your exposure to environmental toxins. Mushrooms help create a healthy immune system. They increase the production and activity of white blood cells. Shiitake, maitake and reishi mushrooms are the most popular. Oats and barley contain beta-glucan, a type of fiber with antimicrobial and antioxidant capabilities more potent than echinacea. Omega-3 fatty acids are found in oily fish like salmon, mackerel, and anchovies, and in plant sources like flaxseed, walnuts and spinach. They help enhance mood, prevent heart disease and prevent flus. People who drink black tea or green tea superpack virus-fighting interferon in their blood. The amino acid L-theanine is abundant in both black and green tea. People who consume high levels of antioxidants have a reduced risk of macular degeneration, a disorder that leads to gradual vision loss. Pesticides are in non-organic fruits and vegetables, factory-farmed meats and bug repellents. Polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs, are in factory-farmed fish. Primary prevention is the key. Get an annual checkup, including cholesterol and blood pressure screenings. For women, do not skip your OB/GYN checkups. Proteins are found in lean meats, eggs, low-fat cheeses, poultry, without skin, nuts, seeds, peas, beans, lentils, sprouted beans, and 100% whole grains. Read your medication labels and keep medications away from kids. Don't tell kids it's candy. Reducing sodium intake, salt, by 300 mg a day can lower your blood pressure by 2 to 4 points. Salt is sodium chloride, NaCl. Excessive intake of sodium or salt causes fluid retention, high blood pressure, heart strain, and other detrimental effects on our body physiology. Spend some time out in the sun to get vitamin D or take supplemental D. Spend your emotional energy on things that make you feel peaceful. Spinach is rich in iron and antioxidants, including lutein, which helps maintain healthy eyes. Stay away from sugar. Stay away from chlorinated drinking water and chlorinated water in showers. Stop eating processed, refined, sugarized foods. Strive to be emotionally balanced. Strive to sleep soundly for 8 to 10 hours per day in darkness. Take care when exercising. Use a bike helmet, stretch before working out. The healthiest oils are extra virgin olive oil and coconut oil. Oils that should be avoided include corn, cottonseed, sunflower, and safflower oils. The sugary, fatty foods, drugs and the passive lifestyle that capitalism has given us through TV and video games has turned us into a bunch of sickly wimps looking for a pill to heal us, which doesn't exist because it's all about lifestyle, what you do day by day. The major causes of illness are pathogens, i.e. bacteria, viruses, fungi, toxins, poor diet, poor sanitation, lack of exercise, stress, fear, anxiety, worry, negative emotions, smoking, drinking excessively, aging. Fresh foods without additives or chemicals are best. Tobacco has many harmful effects, whether in smoking, chewing, or using snuff. Try to rotate your foods. Try to live a stress-free life. Use only virgin or extra virgin olive oil for cooking. Volatile organic compounds, VOCs, are in cosmetics, clothing that has been dry cleaned, air fresheners, paints, deodorants and bug repellents. You can't believe everything the mainstream media says because they make a lot of money through food and drug ads, so their content is skewed to the hand that feeds them. You're only as strong as your weakest link. The key to health is raising your immune system and body to higher levels of strength. Health quotes/medical quotes. A man too busy to take care of his health is like a mechanic too busy to take care of his tools. Spanish proverb. A correct diagnosis is 3/4 the remedy. Mahatma Gandhi. A wise man should consider that health is the greatest of human blessings and learn how by his own thought to derive benefit from his illnesses. Hippocrates, Regimen in Health. A hospital is no place to be sick. A 5-mile walk will do more good for an unhappy but otherwise healthy adult than all the medicine and psychology in the world. Paul Dudley White. America's healthcare system is second only to Japan, Canada, Sweden, Great Britain, well, all of Europe. But you can thank your lucky stars we don't live in Paraguay. Homer Simpson. As I see it, every day you do one of two things: build health or produce disease in yourself. Adele Davis. Being overweight is no fun. Better to hunt in fields for health unbought than fee the doctor for a nauseous draught. The wise for cure on exercise me depend. God never made his work for man to mend. John Dryden. Body, a thing of shreds and patches, borrowed unequally from good and bad ancestors and a misfit from the start. Ralph Waldo Emerson. Common sense is in medicine the master workman. Peter Latham. Control your health and well-being. If you can't take responsibility for your own well-being now, you will never take control over it. Permanent weight loss takes permanent lifestyle changes. Don't stress about your weight. Lose it. Eat green vegetables for health. Eat when in a calm mental state. Losing weight is about having faith in the future. Every patient carries her or his own doctor inside. Albert Schweitzer. Happiness is nothing more than good health and a bad memory. Albert Schweitzer. Weight loss is a bigger issue than just calories in, calories out. Exercise relieves stress. Food is fuel, not pleasure. For life is only life when blessed with health. Marshall. Get out in nature. Getting enough is just as important as working out. God heals and the doctor takes the fee. Benjamin Franklin. Happiness lies, first of all, in health. George William Curtis. Happiness lies, first of all, in health. Gary William Curtis. He who has health has hope, and he who has hope has everything. Arabian proverb. Health is not valued till sickness comes. Be not slow to visit the sick. Ecclesiastes. Health is worth more than learning. Thomas Jefferson. Health is not simply the absence of sickness. It's feeling great. Health increases happiness. Health and intellect are the two blessings of life. Menander. Health, the greatest of all we count as blessings. Arifron. I am dying with the help of too many physicians. Alexander the Great. I am convinced digestion is the great secret to life. Sidney Smith. If you are surprised at the number of our maladies, count our cooks. Seneca. If you want to understand life, don't think about vibrant, throbbing gels and oozes, think about information technology. Richard Dawkins, The Blind Watchmaker, 1986. If you could buy fitness, it would be easy. If you have health, you have hope. If you have hope, you have everything. Arabian proverb. It is my personal belief, as a physician of internal medicine, that dietary factors serve as the principal cause of our most common killers in the United States. The consequences of eating too much fat result in huge, staggering, burdensome problems. It costs society billions and billions of dollars each year to stem fat-related diseases. Dr. Joe Davis. It gets a lot easier to deal with stress when you're not fat. Keeping your body healthy is an expression of gratitude to God. Life changes boil down to small, everyday decisions. Look to your health, and if you have it, praise God and value it next to a good conscience, for health is the second blessing that we mortals are capable of, a blessing that money cannot buy. Isaac Walton. Look to your health, and if you have it, praise God and value it next to conscience, for health is the second blessing that we mortals are capable of, a blessing money can't buy. Isaac Walton. Make health the first priority in your life. Most diseases are the result of medication which has been prescribed to relieve and take away a beneficent and warning symptom on the part of nature. Elbert Hubbard. Nature, time, and patience are three great physicians. H.G. Vaughan. Now there are more overweight people in America than average weight people. Anyone can lose a few pounds, but you have to stick with it. Once we get pain's message and follow its advice, the pain heals. Our own physical body possesses a wisdom which we who inhabit the body lack. We give it orders which make no sense. Henry Miller. Our doctor would never really operate unless it was necessary. He was just that way. If he didn't need the money, he wouldn't lay a hand on you. Herb Schreiner. Preserving health by too severe a rule is a worrisome malady. François de la Rochefoucauld. Quit worrying about your health. It will go away. Sleep is a healing balm for every ill. Menander. Symptoms, then, are in reality nothing but a cry from suffering organs. Jean-Martin Charcot. Take care of your body with steadfast fidelity. The soul must see through these eyes alone, and if they are dim, the whole world is clouded. Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. The more severe the pain or illness, the harder the recovery. The king who cannot rule his diet will hardly rule his realm in peace and quiet. Passage from The Rule of Health of Salerno, author unknown. The best thin GIs to wake up feeling healthy after having been sick. Health nuts are going to feel stupid someday, lying in hospitals dying of nothing. Everybody dies regardless of how healthy you try to be. The only way to keep your health is to eat what you don't want, drink what you don't like, and do what you'd rather not. Mark Twain. There are some remedies worse than the disease. Publius Syrus. There is something loopy when we live in a world of sugar-free sugar cookies. Time is the great physician. Benjamin Franklin. Water is the only drink for a wise man. Henry David Thoreau. Water is the most neglected nutrient in your diet but one of the most vital. Kelly Barton. Water, taken in moderation, cannot hurt anybody. We must turn to nature itself, to the observations of the body in health and in disease to learn the truth. Hippocrates. When you let yourself go, everybody knows you don't have self-respect. Whether you are healthy or ill, your thoughts can drive you. If you are feeling ill, it may be your mind that has made you so. You should pray for a healthy mind in a healthy body. Juvenal. You have to make an effort to get healthy every day. You pray for good health and a body that will be strong in old age. Good. But your rich foods block the gods' answer and tie Jupiter's hands. Persius. Your health is up to you alone. Wisdom is to the mind what health is to the body. François de la Rochefoucauld. greatinspiration.quotes.healing-quotes.html. Chapter 2. Old School Health Hints. Hints on Health from the Lady's Book of Etiquette and Manual of Politeness, a complete handbook for the use of the lady in polite society by Florence Hartley, 1860. The universal remark of travelers visiting America, as well as the universal complaint of Americans themselves, relates to the ill health of the fairer portion of the community. Look where you will, go to any city in the vast Union, the remark and complaint will be made everywhere. With every natural advantage of climate, yet from north to south, east to west the cry resounds. Foreigners, admiring the dark-eyed girls of the southern states or the blondes of the northern ones, will remark, with comments upon beauty, but she looks delicate, poor thing, not strong? Ah! I thought not, none of the American women are, and how soon these young beauties fade. It seems to me, amongst the subjects treated of in my present work, that a few words on health will not come amiss. Light and sunshine are needful for your health. Get all you can, keep your windows clean. Do not block them up with curtains, plants, or bunches of flowers, these last poison the air, in small rooms. Fresh air is needful for your health. As often as you can, open all your windows, if only for a short time in bad weather. In fine weather, keep them open, but never sit in drafts. When you get up, open the windows wide and throw down the bedclothes, that they may be exposed to fresh air some hours, daily, before they are made up. Keep your bedclothes clean, hang them to the fire when you can. Avoid wearing at night what you wear in the day. Hang up your day clothes at night. Except in the severest weather, in small, crowded sleeping rooms, a little opening at the top of the window sash is very important, or you will find one window pane of perforated zinc very useful. You will not catch cold half so easily by breathing pure air at night. Let not the beds be directly under the windows. Sleeping in exhausted air creates a desire for stimulants. Pure water is needful for your health. Wash your bodies as well as your faces, rubbing them all over with a coarse cloth. If you cannot wash thus every morning, pray do so once a week. Crying and cross children are often pacified by a gentle washing of their little hands and faces, it soothes them. Babies' heads should be washed carefully, every morning with soap. No scurf should be suffered to remain upon them. Get rid of all slops and dirty water at once. Disease and even death is often the consequence of our own negligence. Wash your rooms and passages at least once a week, use plenty of clean water, but do not let your children stay in them while they are wet, it may bring on croup or inflammation of the chest. If you read your Bibles, which it is earnestly hoped you do, you will find how cleanliness, both as to the person and habitation, was taught to the Jews by God Himself, and we read in the 4th chapter of Nehemiah that when they were building their second temple and defending their lives against their foes, having no time for rest, they contrived to put off their clothes for washing. It is a good old saying, that underscore cleanliness is next to godliness underscore. Wholesome food is needful for your health. Buy the most strengthening. Pieces of fresh beef and mutton go the farthest. Eat plenty of fresh salt with food, it prevents disease. Pray do not let your children waste their pennies in tarts, cakes, bullseyes, hard bake, sour fruit, and, they are very unwholesome and hurt the digestion. People would often, at 20 years of age, have a nice little sum of money to help them on in the world, if they had put in the savings bank the money so wasted. Cocoa is cheaper and much more nourishing than underscore tea underscore. None of these liquids should be taken underscore hot underscore, but lukewarm. When hot they inflame the stomach and produce indigestion. We are all made to breathe the pure air of heaven, and therefore much illness is caused by being constantly indoors. Let all persons make a point, whenever it is possible, of taking exercise in the underscore open air underscore for at least an hour and a half underscore daily underscore. Underscore time underscore would be saved in the long run by the increased energy and strength gained and by the warding off of disease. Let it not be supposed that it is not the duty of every young lady to take due care of her health and to preserve in all its power of utility every portion of vigor which has been bestowed on her. With many young ladies, it appears to be a maxim to do everything in their power to destroy the health which is so much wanted in the real business of life and which forms so important a requisite to happiness. In the first place, as to hours, they never leave the ballroom until utterly exhausted and scarcely fit to crawl to bed. The noonday sleep, the scarcely touched breakfast, that most important meal, are followed by preparations for the succeeding night's pleasures, or in head-aching morning calls, driving about in a close carriage, or lounging on a sofa, in an overheated room, reading novels. Dressing follows, the warm wrapper or dress is thrown aside, over the tightly drawn corsets is fastened a flimsy dress, with an inch of sleeve, the neck laid bare, thin stockings drawn on, in place of thick ones, and the consumption seeker goes forth to the ballroom again. At times, you miss from the gay assemblage some former ornament, you inquire about her, she has taken cold. Inflammation of the lungs, caught it in an accidental draught of air by one of these fair half-dressed beings, carried off, not long since, one of the gayest and fairest of the belles of the season, after an illness of 3 days. Preservation of the health ought, from an early stage of existence, to be enforced as a duty upon the young. To walk daily, to have daily recourse, in summer, even twice a day, to the sponging with cold water, or the shower bath, to eat sufficiently of plain, nutritious food, to keep the mind calm, these are underscore duties underscore, they should be habitually exercised. Care should be taken not to come out heated, with the shawl just pinned across the shoulders, from a heated room. Where there is delicacy of the lungs or windpipe, yet not sufficient to render a withdrawal from evening parties necessary, the use of a respirator at night is desirable. It is usual to have recourse to this valuable invention only when disease is actually existing; as a preventive, it is neglected. Yet, preserving the temperature of a warm room, it is an excellent precaution and can easily be assumed when the shawl or cloak is put on. The atmosphere of a city is destructive where there is any pulmonary delicacy, and who shall say, where there is underscore not underscore pulmonary delicacy. In this climate, there is a tendency to it, more or less, in almost every family. At all events, it is too easily induced in our predisposed constitutions, by cold, aided by the debilitating effect of heated rooms and an artificial mode of existence, and accelerated also, most decidedly, by bared shoulders. For, in this climate, it is scarcely ever safe to lay bare that portion of the frame, the back and chest, in which the lungs are seated, and, although custom may greatly lead to diminish the injurious effects, the sudden chill may strike and may never be recovered. During every season, certain people have head colds, coughs and feverish colds. These are produced by certain states of climate acting on certain states of constitution. At particular seasons such complaints abound, at others they abound still more, and again, from some singularity, they prevail so much that people say, there is an underscore influenza underscore. Influenza has been long known in the world. It has often visited Europe, and made its appearance on our shores with greater severity than at present. It has sometimes been very severe and left many persons ill for a year or two. The symptoms of influenza need not be dwelt on, as they have been so generally felt by our readers or their friends. It varies in different people, to be sure, both in kind and in degree. Considering the number of people it attacks, it may be looked on as an innocent disease, but, on the other hand, looking at the increase it has made in the number of deaths, it is an exceedingly serious one after all. In simple cases, confinement to a pure and temperate air, warm drinks, and a warm bath, or, at least, a warm foot bath, with an extra blanket and a little more rest than usual, keeping to mild food and toast and water and taking, if necessary, a dose of aperient medicine, is all that is required. In serious cases, the domestic treatment must become professional. Mustard plasters to the back relieve the headache. Squills find other medicines loosen the outstanding cough. Bark and wine and even cold baths are sometimes requisite for the weakness left behind. But these things can only be used with discrimination by a regular professional man. Supposing that the seeds of disease have not been laid in childhood and that there is no particular predisposition to any malady in the constitution, a young woman enters life with every fair prospect of enjoying tolerable health, yet, how variable and delicate and complaining, do the majority of women become. What a vast expense is incurred, during the course of their lives, in physicians, medicine, change of air, baths abroad and at home and journeys. How few women can walk, or can suppress nervous feelings, or can eat like reasonable beings, how many suffer, or say they suffer from debility, headaches, dyspepsia, a tendency to colds, eternal sore throats, rheumatic attacks, and the whole list of polite complaints. With all our modern wisdom, with all our books on health, our smatterings of physiological science, our open carriages, sponging baths, and attention to diet, women now are a far more feeble race than our grandmothers, or even our mothers, were. What daughter can walk half as far as her mother can? What young woman can take the active part that her mother did? In most families, the order of things is reversed. It is not a child trembling for her mother's health and fearing, lest her parent, no longer young, should be fatigued, but it is the mother who is always striving to spare her child exertions which she can herself perfectly well undergo, but which the enfeebled child of modern self-indulgence dare not encounter. Yes. We are a self-indulgent race, this present generation. Witness our easily excited feelings, witness our late hours of rising, our sofas and easy chairs, our useless days and dissipated nights. Witness our pallid faces, our forms, sometimes attenuated and repulsive while yet in early life, age marching, not creeping, on before his time, or witness our overfed and overexpanded forms, enfeebled by indolence and suffering the worst species of debility, the debility of _fat_. Witness our doing those things by deputy which our grandmothers did themselves, witness our host of scents and perfumed waters on our dressing tables, our over-refinement, which amounts to an enervating puerility and our incapacity of parting with one accustomed indulgence, even at the bidding of the learned and disinterested adviser? In the education of women, writes a modern physician, too little attention is given to subdue the imaginative faculty and to moderate sensibility, on the contrary, they are generally fostered, and, instead of a vigorous intellect and healthy condition of mind, we find imagination and sentiment predominant over the reasoning faculties and laying the foundation of hysterical, hypochondriacal, and even maniacal diseases. It is, in fact, this want of judgment in the management of early life that produces so much misery when women are called upon to perform an important part in society and when all that exertion can do is required at their hands. The duration of sleep should not, in the adult, exceed 6 or 8 hours. Women injure their health greatly by excess in this respect. On rising, all women should use some mode of cold or tepid bath, and, indeed, in this respect the practice of the present day is admirable. There is every facility for the bath. To some, the use of the shower bath is deleterious and to all inconvenient and not likely to be resorted to except when positively ordered. Drive. Coombe recommends for _general_ use the tepid or warm bath, as being much more suitable than the cold bath, especially in the winter for those who are not robust and full of animal heat. When the constitution is not sufficiently vigorous to ensure reaction after the cold bath, by producing a warm glow over the surface, its use, observes the same admirable writer, inevitably does harm. But he enforces, that in order to promote a due exhalation from the skin, the warm, the tepid, or the shower bath, as a means of preserving health, ought to be in as common use as a change of apparel, for it is equally a measure of necessary cleanliness. He inclines to the use of the tepid bath, as likely to be the most generally efficacious. I have known the most beneficial effects from a modification of this advice, namely, from using a sponging bath, into which you pour a jug of warm water and in which you stand, whilst you sponge the body and limbs profusely with cold water. A strong friction should be employed after this process, either with horsehair gloves or with a large coarse towel, and few persons will find the use of the sponging bath disagree with them when thus employed. It is, indeed, incredible, when we consider the importance of the exhalation performed by the skin, to what extent ablution is neglected, not only, as Dr. Combe specifies, in charitable institutions and seminaries for the young, but by ladies, in ordinary circumstances, to whom the use of the bath could be productive of no inconvenience. In nervous complaints, which are more or less the besetting evil of womankind, the bath, in its various forms, becomes an invaluable aid. In the formation of those habits which are necessary for the preservation of health, another circumstance, which, from its importance to health, cannot be deemed trifling, should be mentioned. It is a general practice that beds should be made as soon as the occupants have left their rooms and before the air has been freely admitted to play upon the recent depositary of the human frame, but this should be avoided. The bed linen and blankets should be taken off and the windows opened, so that, for an hour or more, a thorough ventilation should be procured. Upon another point, the inconsistency and mental blindness of women are almost inconceivable, the insufficiency of their dress to resist the attacks of our variable climate. How few women clothe themselves like rational beings! Although, in latter years, they have wisely adopted the use of warm dresses, and, more especially, of the valuable Scottish plaid, yet how commonly they neglect the aid of flannel in preserving them not only from cold, but in securing a necessary circulation of vitality in the skin. The necessary effect of deficient circulation in the skin, remarks Dr. Combe, is to throw a disproportionate mass of blood inwards, and when this condition exists, insufficient clothing perpetuates the evil, until internal disease is generated and health is irrecoverably lost. How common is the complaint among young women, especially those of sedentary habits, of chilliness, cold feet, and other symptoms of deficient circulation. And yet how impossible would it often be, for women are usually obstinate on this head, to induce them to exchange the thin silk stocking for a warm merino one, or to substitute a proper walking shoe for the paper-like articles which they designate by that name. Hence arise many diseases, which are, by insensible degrees, fostered in the system by the unequal distribution of the blood oppressing the internal organs. The habitual tendency to that chilliness which has been referred to should never be disregarded, laying, as it does, says Dr. Combe, the foundation of tubercles in the lungs and other maladies, which show themselves only when arrived at an incurable stage. All those who value health and have common sense, will therefore take warning from signs like these and never rest until equilibrium of action be restored. Warm clothing, exercise in the open air, sponging with tepid water and vinegar, or the warm bath, the use of a flesh brush or hair glove, are adapted to remedy these serious and threatening evils. But, whilst insufficiency of clothing is to be deprecated, excessive wrapping up should also be avoided. Great differences exist between the power of generating heat and resisting cold in individuals, and it is therefore impossible to prescribe general rules upon the subject of clothing. The best maxim is, not to dress in an invariable way in all cases, but to put on clothing sufficient in the individual case, to protect the body effectively against the sensation of cold. See Dr. Combe. The insufficiency of warmth in the clothing of females constitutes only one part of its injurious effects. The tightness of dress obstructs the insensible perspiration hurtfully and produces an irregular circulation. Every part and function of the human frame are linked together so closely, that we cannot act wrongly towards one organ without all suffering, nor act rightly without all sharing the benefit of our judgment and good sense. The mischief arising from cold or wet feet is admitted by all persons who have given the subject of health even the most casual consideration. In conversing with very aged people, you will generally find a disregard of diet and very different notions and practices upon the subject of exercise and ablution, but they all agree in the necessity of keeping the feet dry. I remember inquiring of a venerable clergyman, who, up to the age of 96, had enjoyed a fair proportion of health, after a youth of delicacy. I asked him what system he pursued. Now, was his reply, I never took much care what I ate, I have always been temperate. I never minded the weather, but I always took care to keep my feet dry and well shod. Wet and damp are, indeed, more unwholesome when applied to the feet than when they affect other parts, because they receive a greater supply of blood to carry on a high degree of perspiration, and because their distance from the heart, or center of circulation, diminishes the force with which this is carried on, and thus leaves them more susceptible from external causes. D.D. Dr. Coombe. God, in His infinite benevolence, has given to His creatures other means of acquiring a healthy warmth than by clothing. He has endowed us with the power of exercise, that blessing which women of weak judgment and indolent natures are so prone to neglect and disparage. Most ladies appear to think that the privilege of walking is only intended for persons of inferior condition. They busy themselves, in their indoor occupations all the morning, take a hearty luncheon and drive out in their carriages until dinner time. It is partly owing to such customs as these that a rapid deterioration takes place in the physical state of our sex, in their looks and in their power of utility and enjoyment of happiness. God never intended us to be inactive. The chief purpose of the muscles with which we are endowed, is to enable us to carry into effect the volitions of the mind, and, whilst fulfilling this grand object, the active exercise of the muscles is conducive to the well-being of many other important functions. The processes of digestion, respiration, secretion, absorption, and nutrition, are promoted and the healthful condition of the whole body influenced. The mind also is depressed or exhilarated by the proper or improper use of muscular exercise, for man is intended for a life of activity, nor can his functions ever go on so properly as when he duly exercises those organs with which nature has endowed him. The evils arising from want of exercise are numerous. The circulation, from the absence of due stimulus, becomes languid, the appetite and digestion are weakened, the respiration is imperfect, and the blood becomes so ill-conditioned, that when distributed through the body it is inadequate to communicate the necessary stimulus to healthy and vigorous action. These points being established, it now becomes a consideration in what mode, or at what periods, ladies, in society, can most advantageously avail themselves of that privilege which is granted to so many, denied, comparatively, to so few. Much is said on the benefits of walking before breakfast, and to a person in full vigor it may, there is no doubt, be highly salutary, whilst, to the delicate, it will prove more hurtful than beneficial, producing a sense of weariness which destroys all the future pleasures of the day. I am disposed to think, however, from observation, that walking before breakfast may be rendered beneficial almost to any one by degrees. Most persons walk too far the first day, they are proud of the effort, become, nevertheless, exhausted and dare not repeat it. A first walk before breakfast should not exceed a quarter of a mile, it should be extended, very gradually, and, in delicate women, with great care, lest over-fatigue should ensue. It is, however, so valuable a habit, such a saving of time, so refreshing, so soothing, that many sacrifices of inclination should be made to procure it. In a gay season the freshness and seclusion of a morning's walk is peculiarly needed, and when it becomes so difficult to take exercise in the subsequent part of the day, the afternoon being too short and the evening too much occupied, and the morning's walk, stolen from the hour given to a species of repose which seldom rests, may be, without the reproach of indolence, followed by the afternoon siesta, a practice much to be commended and greatly conducive to rest of nerves and invigoration of the frame, when used in moderation. Exercise may be taken, by the robust, at any time, even after eating heartily, but the delicate ought to avoid that risk. They should resort to it only when the frame is vigorous enough to bear it, and this is usually from 1 to 4 or 5 hours after eating. The morning is, therefore, the best time, but exercise ought not to be delayed until some degree of exhaustion has taken place from want of food, as in that case it dissipates rather than renovates the remaining strength and impairs digestion. Exercise immediately before meals is therefore, unless very gentle, injurious. If it has been violent, before eating rest should intervene. Appetite, says Dr. Kuhn, revives after repose. Of all modes of exercise, that which nature has bestowed upon us, walking, is decidedly the most salutary, and the prevailing system of substituting horse and carriage exercise almost entirely for it, is far from being advantageous to the present generation. Walking, which has for its aim some pleasing pursuit, and, therefore, animates the mind, is efficacious to the majority. Gardening, which is a modification of walking, offers many advantages both to the delicate and the strong, and it is a species of exercise which we can adjust to our powers. In a continued walk you must go on, you must return, there is no appeal, even if you have gone too far and would willingly give up any further exertion. But, while gardening, you are still at home, your exertions are devoted to objects the most interesting, because progressive, hope and faith form a part of your stimulus. The happy future, when flowers shall bloom around you, supersedes in your thoughts the vexatious present or the mournful past. About you are the budding treasures of spring, or the gorgeous productions of summer, or the rich hues of those beauties which autumn pours forth most lavishly before it departs and is succeeded by winter. Above you are the gay warblers, who seem to hail you as you mingle in the sylvan scenes which are not all theirs, but which you share and appropriate. The ruffled temper, the harassed mind, may find a solace in the occupation of gardening, which aids the effect of exercise and the benign influence of fresh air. Stores of future and never-dying interest are buried in the earth with every seed, only to spring up again redoubled in their value. A lady, as a writer in the Quarterly Review observes, should not only have but know her plants. And her enjoyment of those delights is truly enhanced by that personal care, without which few gardens, however superintended by the scientific gardener, can prosper, and which bless as they thrive. Her plants bestow health on the frame which is bowed down to train them, they give to her the blessing of a calm and rational pleasure, they relieve her from the necessity of excitement, they promote alike, in the wealthy and the poor, these gentle exertions which are coupled with the most poetical and the sweetest of associations. Exercise on horseback is not equally attainable with the two modes which I have just specified. When it is, the accelerated circulation, the change of scene and of ideas, are highly beneficial. Where the lungs are weak, it is thought by the learned to possess a great advantage over walking, as it does not hurry the breathing. The gentleness of the exercise enables a delicate person to enjoy the advantage of open air and motion for a much longer period than could be endured in the action of walking. From the tendency of horse exercise to equalize the circulation and stimulate the skin, it is invaluable, too, for the nervous and dyspeptic portion of young women, among whom, unhappily, such complaints are but too prevalent. Dancing, which is the most frequent mode of exercise with ladies in great cities, practiced, as it is, in heated rooms and exhausting from its violence, often does more harm than good, from producing languor and over-fatigue. Unhappily there are but few modes of exercise indoors adapted for women. If, from any circumstances, they are confined to their homes and they become feverish and languid from want of exercise, it never occurs to them to throw open the windows and to walk about, or to make use of battledore and shuttlecock, or any other mode of exertion. They continue sitting, reading, or walking, or lounging, or sleeping, or gossiping, whilst the bloom of health is rapidly giving place to the oneness and debility of the imprisoned frame. It is often the custom of young women to declare that they cannot walk, sometimes from indolence, no doubt, and want of habit, occasionally from real inability. But if we investigate the causes of this real inability, we shall often find it to proceed from an improper choice of time in taking exercise, or from a defective judgment in the manner of taking it. Many women exhaust and fatigue themselves with the duties of their house and by 1,000 trying occupations, including that which forms a serious item in the day's work, namely, running up and down stairs and then discover that they cannot walk. Others go to extremes and walk for a certain distance, whether they feel fatigued or not by such exertions. It is only, observes Dr. Kuhn, by a diffusion of the laws of exercise as a part of useful education, that individuals can be enabled to avoid such mistakes. To be beneficial, exercise should always be proportioned to the strength and to the constitution of an individual. When it causes extreme fatigue or exhaustion, it is hurtful. It ought to be resumed always after a period of rest and adopted regularly, not, as too many persons are in the habit of doing, once in 4 or 5 days. The average walk which a young woman in good health and in ordinary circumstances may take, without undue and injurious fatigue, is from 4 to 5 miles a day. From this rule I accept the _very_ young. It has been found by experience that until 22 or 3 the strength is not completely matured. The rate of mortality, as it has been proved by statistical tables, increases in all classes of society from 14 until the age of 23, when it begins to decrease. Another precaution which I would recommend to those who have the regulation of families under their care, relates to the subject of ventilation. The heated state of our rooms in ordinary occupation is one great source of all those mischiefs which arise from catching cold, a subject on which Mr. Abernethy was wont to declare, that a very useful book might be written. There are some houses into which one can never enter with impunity, from the want of due ventilation. Housemaids, more especially, have an insupportable objection to opening windows, on account of the dust which flies in and settles upon the furniture. This evil, for the soiling of furniture certainly may be called an evil, may easily be obviated by fastening a muslin blind against the open window, or by pinning a large piece of coarse muslin against it, so that the dusty particles will be excluded. Generally our ordinary sitting rooms are tolerably well ventilated by the opening and shutting of doors, the size of the fireplace, but in our bedrooms the vitiation of the air is far greater, owing to these rooms being wholly closed during the 7 or 8 hours in which we sleep in them, and, also, owing to the mass of curtains with which we usually take care to surround our beds. In this respect we are, indeed, improved, by the introduction of French bedsteads, which are among the most valuable of modern suggestions. But, notwithstanding this improvement and many others which reflection and science have contributed to introduce, we incur much suffering from our ignorance and prejudice on the subject of ventilation. For generations, society has experienced the evil effects of the want of ventilation and has felt in towns its results in the form of fevers, general ill health, cutaneous and nervous diseases, and yet the most direful ignorance continues on this subject. Hospitals are among the few well-ventilated buildings which are erected, because an idea prevails that ventilation is essential for the sick, but it seems to have been forgotten that what is essential for the recovery of health is equally necessary for its preservation. Were, says Dr. Kuhn, a general knowledge of the structure of man to constitute a regular part of a liberal education, such inconsistencies as this would soon disappear and the scientific architect would speedily devise the best means for supplying our houses with pure air, as he has already supplied them with pure water.